Folks, I have very good news. You do not have to pray for my dad, or at least I don't think you will have to, for very much longer. Why? Because he seems to be perfectly fine and all. For those who don't know the story and all, I am in Florida now. I wish I had already shown you guys the actual video of my drive to Florida and all, which I will be uploading later today once I'm done editing and tinkering with it, which I have not finished yet. But we got here late last night, unpacked stuff and all, figured out the situation of how we're stuck in one room and not two rooms and all intertwined together, which is admittedly a bit disappointing since now I have to sleep on the couch over there instead of in here on the bed. And no, it's not usually this messy and all, simply because of what happened. I ended up falling asleep on the bed and all with my parents, considering how big it was, because it was so comfy, and I just fell asleep immediately. It was late as well. It was like 1 something in the morning. And I didn't even see my parents fall asleep. And then I wake up in the morning to hearing sounds. My parents are still in bed and all, and then I realize that Dad's shaking and trembling. For those who don't know, my dad is diabetic, and I was scared and all because I knew what this meant and all when this was happening. Dad needed to be taken care of, and he had low blood sugar or took too much insulin. I don't know what the term is. I'm kind of confused about all that kind of stuff. And he was sitting there. I don't even want to imitate it because it's so disheartening. And he was still conscious, I guess, and all, but still, it's terrifying every single time it happens. So Mom and I are like scrambling to get stuff, kind of like, oh, we need to feed him something with sugar. This Kool-Aid stuff. That's why Dad always keeps it around. And that was kind of working and all. We got him back into a sort of normal state and all, sitting in bed. He was able to look around a little bit and talk kind of in like 1 or 2 word sentences. But he could only like move his head and part of his hand briefly and all. And then he was starting to doze off a bit. And by this point and all, we were calling 911, and during which I was praying and I was thinking, no, I've already lost Josie. I can't lose another family member. And then a whole squadron of like 8 or so medical workers all came in, and with a IV and or no, not an IV, gurney. I can't remember what it's called and all. The thing that you put people on and all, and they have 2 people carrying it away. I can't remember what it's called, or it's on a cart. Yeah, they put after some talking and figuring some stuff out and all. My mom was talking and all. Everything was peaceful, but then it was realized that Dad had to be put on one of those gurney, whatever it's called, things, and it was taken off and had to be taken to the hospital. And we agreed that once we got dressed and all, me and my mom would fall soon. And we took a little bit of time, and then we finally, after some mishmangling, we finally got our ways to the hospital, despite it being right across from us. We didn't even know that. And after all that, my mom went in, we set things up and all. I was sitting out in the big, nice waiting room and all, tormenting myself kind of by watching the end of Cat in the Hat, which admittedly is not as bad as I remembered, but okay. And then finding Nemo to clench my eyes. Or cleanse, I should say. And after a long amount of waiting, finally, and you know what's funny about this? Finding Nemo, I was just thinking about ocean stuff to entertain my brain and all once the Cat in the Hat movie ended in the waiting room. And I'm a son with my father that I care about. Finding Nemo is basically the inverse of that kind of, well, actually, yeah, I guess you can say that. I'm the son really caring about the father. Not saying that my father doesn't care about me, but still. And after a long amount of waiting and just taking breaths outside, thinking about Among Us logic, because I didn't bring my tablet because it feels like it's disrespectful. Take notes, kids. You don't have to bring your gigantic iPads everywhere you go. Kids and big boy and stuff. And we learned that everything was fine, and me and my mom went home, brought up a couple other things up, and look at this place now. Yeah. Look at this place now. Jam-packed. Before we were all scared, crying, and praying and all, and it was cloudy outside, and there was nobody in the pool area. Now, we're joyful. Dad's still needing to be taken care of, but he's recovering. He's basically fine now. Just needs like a couple of extra things and he'll be fine, hopefully. He may spend the night in a hotel, but who knows. Hospital. And now it's sunny, and people are out there, and I'm going to go join in. Hopefully I can at least impress somebody and all, despite the fact that the only thing I can really showcase right now is just my elbows, which are admittedly the scrawniest thing about my body. You guys probably don't even know that because I haven't showed off my body very much. Okay, this is getting way too weird to talk about. But yeah, in short, everything is starting to return back to normal. Only Dad's not here right now, and I have the place to myself right now. And I'm going to finish editing a couple videos, including something about IBP. You'll see later. And hopefully later this trip we'll see some relatives, go down in the pool, go diecast hunting. My parents, or at least my mom, needs to go to like a grocery store and get bananas and stuff like that, more Kool-Aid because we're out. And you know what that means. And yeah, it most likely is going to be the same Walmart as last time. I swear to God, if they have the same stuff as previously, I'm going to have a meltdown. But yeah, and yes, we will be going to the world's largest McDonald's, I promise. Don't worry, guys, about that. That's basically all I really have to say. My dad is recovering, and Florida vacation is finally on. Finally.